GPS dog collars range from $140 to over $1,000. So, is this the difference between a Honda Civic and a Rolls-Royce? Or is this the difference between buying a PS5 and a Tamagotchi? One's a piece of highly advanced technology and the other's a barely functioning toy. Let's see which GPS collar actually passes the sniff test. Nothing against Tamagotchi, by the way, but it's old and I needed a good metaphor. So here's something that broke my brain. When I first started looking into GPS dog collars, some are available for as low as $140. That's real. There's a thing on petco.com that you can buy that costs a little over $100. But then the collars getting the most positive reviews were the ones that cost significantly more money. And it kind of broke my brain when I thought about the pricing difference. Do they all function the same? Is spending an extra couple $100 really gonna get you a better product? Or do you need to actually pay for the premium one to get one that's actually going to function? Because let me tell you, I've tried playing Red Dead Redemption on Tamagotchi, and it runs very slowly. Tamagotchi, I'm sorry you're catching strays in this review. You helped shape my childhood. If you're brand new to GPS dog collars, here's a quick rundown. These systems use satellite technology to create virtual boundaries for your dog. No physical fence required. You draw a boundary on your phone, and when they get too close to the edge, it gives them warnings and corrections to keep them contained. And if you've been researching for a bit, you've probably noticed that SpotOn is consistently rated as one of the most accurate GPS collars on the market by websites that are totally unbiased and not at all sponsored. It's not cheap, but there's a reason for that, and I'll break all of that down later on in the video. Plus, I have a discount code. So, I started watching review videos on different GPS dog collars, and my God, there is some absolute garbage out there. This is definitely one of those situations where you should absolutely ignore the garbage on the low end of the price spectrum and look into the ones that actually function. Because yes, some of the more expensive collars throw in flashy features that make them feel like premium products, but only when you get to the upper echelon of the price scale do you actually start to see products that, let me check my notes here, work. It's cool that these collars can do multiple boundaries, health tracking, training integrations, and comeback buttons, but if you're putting a piece of tech around your dog to keep them contained, it has to work 100% of the time. That's not negotiable. I bought a few of the top contenders, but there's one I consistently recommend. SpotOn. I'll get to the sniff test in a moment, but first thing, this thing actually nails the basics and the details. Right on the box, there's a QR code that shows you how it works. Inside, you get a quick start guide. I'm a fan of the paper version. Contact points for short and long-haired dogs, a charging cable, and a little multi-tool that doubles as a wrench for the prongs, and a tester to confirm that they're working. The power button is hidden between the contact prongs, which feels weird until you realize it prevents accidental shutoffs when your dog rubs against things. And the charging setup is a real upgrade from the older SpotOn. No bulky dock living on your counter. You plug it in, charge it, put it away. Once you download the app and create an account, you walk the perimeter of your property to build the fence. SpotOn drops location points as you go, and then you can fine-tune the boundary in the app. Or just draw it with your finger, but that will also need some fine-tuning and testing. It also has off-grid mode for travel in remote areas without internet, plus custom voice commands so your dog hears your voice instead of generic tones. You can create unlimited fences from 1/3 of an acre up to 100,000 acres, and the core GPS containment works without a subscription. If you want cellular tracking and remote features like calling your dog home or activating the collar light at night, the subscription is optional. But containment still works without it. SpotOn also includes forest mode for better accuracy under heavy tree cover, plus a home zone perimeter that disables feedback indoors to cut down on false warnings. It's built tough, too. Waterproof, durable, designed and assembled in the USA. Battery life is solid, about 30 to 36 hours with tracking enabled and 40 plus without. And as Sora runs through Brand Park, remember this collar is using True Location TM tech, a dual band, dual feed antenna, and forest mode to stay accurate even under dense canopy. That said, SpotOn doesn't try to do everything, and some competing collars lean into features it simply doesn't offer. You won't find Bluetooth beacons for hyper-specific keep-away zones like trash cans or couches. Other brands layer in things like Cesar Millan training programs, smaller minimum fence sizes for tiny yards under a third of an acre, or AI obstacle filtering. If you've got a really small property or you specifically want those conveniences, another system might be a better fit. But SpotOn's priority is accuracy and reliability first, not piling on every feature under the sun, and depending on what you want, that's either the whole reason you bought it or a couple trade-offs to accept. But does it pass the sniff test? Yes. Spoiled the end?
Yeah, you kind of spoiled the ending.
Yeah, shoot. That's not good for retention. Okay, well, discount links below if you stop watching here, but let's get to the testing. The number one thing I wanted to test was SpotOn's big claim that it works reliably in challenging GPS conditions. Heavy tree cover, bad cell reception, proximity to roads. For me, that was the total deal breaker. When you're trusting a single piece of technology to keep your dog safe near hazards, mostly accurate isn't good enough. You want 100% accuracy 100% of the time, because 99% still means there's that one moment where something could go wrong. So I tested the competition in my local park. Mixed bag, but most of the competition worked fine. Then I went to the hilliest, cell-service outagiest park I could possibly find. Suddenly, oops! I guess a bunch of these colors decided to stop working. Without naming names, we took one of the inferior colors to this exact spot first, and you can see in the test footage, there were moments where we tried to cross the boundary and we could walk all the way into the street under dense tree cover and no alert signaled at all. There's my friend in the street waiting for any kind of buzz or beep or anything that would prevent a dog from being potentially run over by a car, and nothing. Now, granted, we at the Sniff test picked maybe the most notoriously challenging area to test in. There's very bad cell reception, and as you can see, we're under very tall trees. But that's what all of these brands advertise. Oh, you can take this collar anywhere and it'll work. That's not necessarily the case. The only reason I recommend SpotOn consistently on this channel is because we put it through the ringer. These tests are not just something we decided to do willy-nilly. If I'm gonna trust a brand to make sure my dog is safe 100% of the time, I'm gonna give it the biggest challenge it can possibly face. Again, if your Tamagotchi freezes up, who cares? Let the thing die. But if your actual dog doesn't get a warning sign before they approach danger, then why even buy the product in the first place? If you've never experienced a cell signal drop, sure, save $200 and cross your fingers. But for me, nah. SpotOn is the only brand that consistently passes the sniff test. And right now, I have the brand new SpotOn Nova collar that's supposed to be the best in the business. And as it turns out, yeah, this collar truly works as advertised. I brought a friend with me, and as you can see here, this spot couldn't have been better for testing. Heavy tree cover, bad cell reception, and proximity to a road. If the collar didn't get a signal, we'd know instantly because there'd be nothing stopping a dog from running into traffic. So we ran the test. We had the collar approaching the boundary from multiple angles, different speeds, different locations around the park to see if we'd get consistent feedback exactly where we were supposed to. And honestly, I was shocked in the best way. Every single time we approached the boundary, the pattern was identical. First an audio warning, then a vibration, then the static correction. SpotOn nailed it every single run. So, does SpotOn Nova pass the sniff test? Absolutely, 100%. It did exactly what I needed it to do, and it did it consistently. So, should you buy one? Well, like I said, it costs a pretty penny, less with my discount. But one thing I found that's helpful to note is that SpotOn doesn't work on a subscription-based model. There are collars that advertise a cheaper upfront price that will ultimately become more expensive over time. And those are the same collars that straight up do not pass the sniff test. SpotOn is more expensive because it's built on better technology. Again, This isn't the difference between buying a functional car or a flashy car. This is the difference between buying a product that works and buying a product that straight up does not. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, we do have that discount code below if you want to grab yours and support this channel at no extra cost to you. We hope you and your dog enjoy the freedom and peace of mind that comes with a GPS fence that actually works.